I want to turn now to the ridiculous double standards President Trump is facing. This time, it's inauguration funding. Again, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. This practice has never fallen under such scrutiny. How you fund the inauguration. But this supposed latest blockbuster investigation gives liberals the narrative that the walls are closing in, so the president has nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. Well, here's something you might not know. Back in 2013, special interests contributed 40%. That's almost half of the funds for Obama's second inauguration. Here with reaction is Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary to Bush 43, and Robert Wolf, Obama mega donor, former economic advisor to his 2012 campaign, and someone who donated money to the 2012 inauguration for Barack Obama. Ari, is this scrutiny warranted, or is this a clear-cut case of a double standard here?
Well, on the surface, it surely seems to be a double standard. You know, the investigation of Hillary was never a real investigation of her, and now we have numerous investigations of Donald Trump from an agency that just probably never wanted Donald Trump to be elected in the first place, and that's troubling. Now, I don't like to draw conclusions like that about justice because I was raised to believe justice is blind and it must be blind. But, you know, we haven't heard from Justice yet on this. These were leaks into the newspapers about an investigation. It's not yet confirmed. And if the focus is on foreign contributions and given to straw men who donated, that's a different matter, and that should be investigated. But I haven't seen any evidence that anybody in Trump world did anything wrong.
Well, and Robert, you were a big donor to President Obama, and look, I think the campaign finance laws are unconstitutional. I'm going to say that till the cows come home. You should be able to give as much money as you want, as long as it's disclosed to anyone or your own money. Shouldn't matter, okay? But anybody, you should be able to give whatever, as long as you disclose it. So I have no problem that you're a big donor of Obama. But Obama swore off special interests in the first inauguration, but then took corporate money, lobbyist money, teachers' unions, all sorts of union money came to the campaign, came to the inauguration. Big deal. What's the difference here?
Okay, so we should just take a step back. One, I think your premise is inaccurate on a double standard. Otherwise, George W. Bush took from the same type of people that Obama took in 2013. I don't think we're talking about corporate money here. I think to Ari's point, the whole idea is, were there foreign interests that gave, which is illegal? And secondly, Obama didn't have an Obama hotel, which is, there's a lot of scrutiny. So if you want to go back on where corporate interests started, I think in 2005, in the inauguration, Obama took from the same people that George W. Bush took. So I don't think it's about corporate. I think we're talking about, were any laws broken? And by the way, I'm not saying any laws were broken. I'm just saying I think that's what they're looking at.
Not a fishing expedition. It's a complete fishing expedition. I'm going to tell you why. Because Hillary Clinton's foundation, Bill and Hillary Clinton's foundation, received money from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Australia, Norway, Dominican Republic, Algeria. I don't know how much Algeria gave, but and you know, suddenly all that money starts drying up when Mrs. Clinton is no longer Secretary of State and she's no longer clearly going to be President of the United States. All that money went away. Now, do you think, Ari, that money was donated to the Clinton Foundation to get access? And can you imagine donors get access in the Obama world, or all the people going to these parties and Obama administration? Everyone's getting access. Welcome to Washington.
I can't imagine why people don't want to continue to get access to Mrs. Clinton. I mean, why did they stop giving money? Oh, I guess she's not running for anything anymore. Of course, Laura. But let me address a broad point here, and your guest made the point about the hotel. You know, one of the things that's just so unusual and different about Donald Trump, to his credit, is that he's a businessman. He came from a hotel industry. All the laws and all the rules are set up to make it easy for career politicians to stay in Congress, to stay in government, and therefore you never had a conflict because you don't own anything in the real world. Along comes business people, and it's almost impossible for them to run because people try to make a mountain out of nothing. So what that people are staying at his hotel? He's already said he's not making the profits from it. He's divorced from that, from the Trump company as the president. But so what if the Trump Corporation is making money from it? It is America's private sector, and I want people from the private sector to be able to run for office.
Robert.
Well, let me just respond. One, I'm all for capitalism. I ran a bank that was in 49 states, 27
UBS.
countries.
Yeah.
We gave to the RNC. We gave to the DNC. Phil Gramm was my vice chairman. Okay, so I have no problem with Donald Trump doing amazingly well. Actually, UBS did business with Donald Trump. We're talking about today, and we're talking about, did the inauguration committee, do something illegal or not? And Laura, let me just finish. For someone,
but there's
that's
nothing wrong with him
be,
spending money at his hotel.
I didn't say that. By the way, am I saying anything's wrong with that? I'm saying that's what they're looking at.
Well, you raised it. Well, you brought it up.
You raised it many times.
Wait a second. I raised it because it was on the front page of 2 papers.
Well, yeah, that's another question.
Today.
How did that happen to come out, given the fact that the inaugural committee itself, Tom Barrack, they've never heard of any investigation. They haven't been asked for any documents. They haven't been interviewed.
I'm not even
and suddenly
saying
this is leaking out of the Southern District of New York. I find the Southern District of New York the most leaky federal prosecutor office in the country.
Trust me, they were outside my office for 5 years. I'm all there with you.
Stephanie Wolkoff, keep that name front and center, because her company was paid a lot of money. She made good money off that inauguration, but a lot of these big party companies do and stuff like that. All right, guys, thanks so much.